We're back.
That's right. The crew that brought you Leaped in a live stream is back with something brand new for 22, and you won't want to miss it. Leap into podcasting. We're taking a leap into podcasting this year, September 29th and 30th. It's our third year of Leaped in a Live, and we're bringing all that same energy this year for this 2-day virtual event. Join us September 29th and 30th. Two days of live sessions, workshops, and panel discussion. Over 20 podcasting experts and brands bringing their expertise to leap into podcasting. Topics include planning, production, distribution, promotion, strategy, tools and gear, workflows, and more. Go figure. Doc is going to talk about gear. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Here's the best part, people. The tickets are absolutely free.
Say what?
Free. Nix, nil, nada, nine, nothing, zilch, zero, free. F-R-E-E, free. Say you're busy and you can't make it? No problem. We'll be selling a replay pass, which includes virtual and physical podcasting guides with notes and bonuses from all the sessions. We got you covered. RSVP and save your spot today at leapintopodcasting.com. That's leapintopodcasting.com. All right, gang, you are checking this out. We are live from the telly and talk about rocking the minimal system.
Yep.
Yeah, today we're rocking minimal system. So we're going to do a live recording of the flow. Thank you, everybody, for showing up down in the old chatty chat down there. Standing by in the green room, we have our special guest today, our Simply Obs, a.k.a. Aubrey Howell Robinson. You guys know who she is. So we're going to jump to her in a second. Right now, I am trying to make weird adjustments. Oh, that's Katie. Okay.
I have a coffee on screen.
Okay, I'll put my coffee on the screen too. Hey,
cheers.
Salud.
We are today in the middle of setting up for content marketing world. So if you're hanging out here in the live chat, we'll be posting all the behind the scenes and answering all your questions and sharing pro tips over on Instagram. We'll have lots of stories and reels up for you. So definitely be sure to check that out. We're in the middle of setup, which is why we're pretty minimal right now, because we had to run back from setup to the hotel.
It's super funny. I can't help. I'm sitting here thinking, should I tweak the table? No, stop messing with it, because all I need is the whole table to just drop, and then it's going to be crazy. Hey, no, we don't have the same live studio audience. Rich, we miss you, man. Rich
why
was.
do you not live in Cleveland also?
Yeah, Rich. All right, let me fix that. That's going to be obnoxious. It's really cool when you do have a live studio audience. It does make things a little bit better. So it is kind of interesting not having Rich here, because the other thing is, like, if Rich was here, I could have him tweak the camera a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Because
instead we're kind of lunging over the table.
Yeah, it's super funny. And now we put the mic in the shot. So
okay.
let's move it a little bit.
All the way into the shot, out of the shot.
There you go. Perfect. That'll work. All right, cool. See, now for all you mic out of the shot people, there you go. Now you can have it.
There we go.
But I think the audio sounds good. I hope so, because otherwise Luis is going to be stressing out while he's fixing it. But I think we're just about ready, gang. So you know how this works. We're going to do the cast, and then after the cast, we're going to jump into a Q&A,
mm-hmm.
and then at some point, I'm going to make talk about Speedify, because we got our first sponsor. So we're going to be talking about Speedify a little bit, which is cool, something that I use right now to get good signal in a hotel.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing I wanted to tell you is, I had an announcement. That's what it was. Okay. Gang, we did it. We passed 500 downloads.
Hit the applause.
Yes. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. See, I don't have my... I don't have my Rodecaster Pro. I'll be hitting the Rodecaster Pro. So, yes, we hit 500 downloads. So, that's kind of big news. There we go. Let me give it a little bit. Guys, that's the first time ever streaming with the MacBook speakers, okay? Don't trust me. I'm in so much pain right now. I am losing all of the marbles, which I already had missing. So that was cool. That was a big milestone. And this is going to be recording of episode 7. So not only did we hit the milestone of 500 downloads, we hit the milestone of how many podcasts, most podcasts stop
Yeah.
podcasting at? What I said made sense.
And we're not stopping podcasting. In fact, this is the first of our special podcast interview podcast episodes.
Correct. This is our first interview.
Leading up to Leap into Podcasting, which is at the end of this month, the 29th and the 30th, which we rolled a video for earlier. So yeah, we, as usual, just had like an overwhelming amount of the best, most amazing experts that all were eager and excited to speak at the event. And so we have too many people, and so we decided let's just do some pre-gaming leading up to the event, and we'll repackage these up as special bonus content for everyone that signs up for the event as well. So yeah, exciting. So this
I'm pretty stoked about that.
This week and then next week and then the week after are kind of special flow episodes because they are linked to Leap into Podcasting, and we're right in it. We're in the podcasting space.
We did it. We're a professional
podcaster.
One of my favorite podcasts back in the day was something called "You Look Nice Today," and one of the famous lines was "There's I'm a professional voice actor," and so yeah, I like it. All right, cool. So we're gonna jump in. We're gonna start the pod, and I just want to say congratulations to Aubrey because you're the first ever guest on the flow. So go ahead and put that in your cookbooks. Let me do this real quick. I should just go ahead and add a quickly so it's easier for me to hit applesauce. So I'm going to hit bam. Got my applesauce, and then I'm going to hit my DJ horn over here, and there we go. Now we're square.
Now we're ready.
So A for applause, and A for horn. All right, good. All right, gang. See, that's Ecamm is so dope. It's so simple. You can make a change like that on the fly, and if I didn't tell you what I was doing, you would never even know I did it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let me sip of coffee. Bless the brains. Of course, when you're ready to start the cast, that sip of coffee came with an ice cube.
Oh yeah, always. Now you gotta chew the ice cube. Chew it.
Okay, and let's get ready. Make the breath ready, and thank you. Right, I know, right, Rob?
We know how to do it.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Thank you, Paul, for letting everybody know about how we normally work this. All right, we're gonna count this down in 5, 4. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to The Flow. I am Doc Rock, your community manager, and
I'm Katie Fawkes.
It's funny how Rich Simeon messaged, he called you K-Fox, which is funny because it's actually a radio station, but your name couldn't fit in the radio station because you spell it the Guy Fawkes way, which is super cool. It's super cool either way. Yeah. But I like that, K-Fox. Gang, we are live here in Cleveland, Ohio. I know what you're thinking. Turns out Cleveland's changed. It's actually pretty dope down here.
Cleveland is awesome.
It's super amazing. The buildings are all nice. We're cruising around downtown. Everything is LED lit up. But we are here for Content Marketing World. So we're live from the telly again. It's our second ever live from the telly edition. And today we're doing something a little bit special. We have a special guest that we're going to bring on. So for those of you folks listening at home, remember that you can come to the live tapings every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern on your YouTube. We're on Ecamm Live on YouTube.
Yep.
And we edit those and put those out on your podcast, getting places the next Tuesday, first thing in the morning. So if you want to partake in the audience, come and join us over on YouTube. And then, yeah, anything else?
Well, I just want to say for the listeners, since we said this for the live audience and it'll get trimmed out later for everyone listening, that this is the beginning of 3 weeks of amazing interviews and bonus content because we are gearing up for and getting really excited for our own virtual event, which is happening on the 29th and 30th of September, Leap into Podcasting. If you haven't heard of it yet and you want to make sure that you RSVP for your pass, you can grab it at leapintopodcasting.com. We have over 20 expert speakers, including the amazing people we're bringing on today, next week, and the week after. We have amazing brands and partners that have great promo offers. We're going to be doing a bunch of demos and awesome content. Really, we're just going to get together and learn how to podcast. So if you've been wanting to get into podcasting or you're into it and you want to grow your podcast or you want to monetize or you just want a community to chat with and support you and be involved with you, this is the event for you. And it's all free. So there's no excuses.
No excuse whatsoever. I can't afford the ticket. Yes, you can.
You can.
It's free. It's free. Free. Notes, nines. I forgot my thing. I just made that up, by the way. That was not even in the script. So, one other thing, just a quick reminder. We had our last podcast and we talked about our show flow.
Yeah.
So if you go to the show notes from the last episode, you can download a copy. If for some reason you don't find it, just send us an email, flow@ecamm.com, and we'll make sure you get it to you. And I believe you actually made a quick link, right?
It's actually just in the freebies folder, which
there
is
you
in
go.
the description of this video and literally all of our videos.
There you go.
So it's just ecamm.tv/flow freebies, all one word. And
Super excited.
We now have 3 freebies in there. So
super excited. And last announcement before we bring our guest on, gang. There's a thing in the podcasting space that says getting to your first 7 episodes is like the milestone because most podcasts eat it at 7, right? I don't know if somebody just made that up, like the 7-year itch in a wedding, in a marriage, but we covered 7. This is episode 7, so yes, we've made it, and we've hit 500 downloads. We passed that mark during the last episode, which is also cool. So it's nice to know that you're gaining that momentum. But I wanted to tell people that, especially the audience that is listening, because I think people have these expectations from listening to other shows that all these shows must be getting like millions of downloads or whatever. And strangely enough, the average download for podcasts all around the whole whatever is about 135 to 150. So that's it. Oh, gang, that's our housekeeping. We're gonna take a quick pause for the cause. 1 second. Don't Kate, so Kate.
no, thank you. No, you're fine.
Sorry, I forgot to put the do not disturb me on the thing. The coolness of podcasting while in the road. Or we're not even in the road, we're on the road.
Actually, there is something I wanted to say. Well, first, my audio is low, so can you help me make my audio louder?
Yeah, I can.
Hold, please.
Not easy to do on here. Ooh. Uh-oh. Let me try Road Central because that's not working. La la la.
Well, I will talk, and hopefully you can still hear me even if it's a bit low. But what I will say is that I think that this has been a really, really good test because we, in typical Ecamm fashion, are doing the most, as Marshall would say. So we are, on the road a ton this fall. We set out and started doing this podcast at the absolute busiest possible time for us as a team. And we're a small team. So there's not a lot of people behind us that are helping us to make this podcast happen. So if we can get to 500 downloads and we can get to 7 episodes, even though we are, creating this podcast on the go from hotel rooms in the middle of when we should be setting up for our booth, while we're, in the middle of traveling, while we have team members coming in from different locations, while we're planning our own event, while we all still have personal lives. I mean, there have been a lot of things that could have easily been excuses and things that have come up that could have stopped us from getting to 7. And because we are committed to making this happen and making it happen in the structure that we've come up with and have committed ourselves to, I think it's a really good case study. I think if we can do it this busy and still be able to pull it off to the quality that we are looking for, then you can too. You can do it while you're on the road. You can do it while you have other things that pop up. You can bring guests on. So I was out on vacation one of the weeks, and Luis was kind enough to come on and be co-host. So I think there's options and ability out there. So push yourself. If you've been kind of sitting there letting excuses get to you, this is a good opportunity to say, hey, you got this.
Yeah. Okay. I got an idea.
Welcome to life.
No, this is cool. So here's what's going to happen. I'm just naturally loud because I'm Doc.
I'll get louder. I'll
Yeah,
get
let's just
louder
switch.
and more intense. Oh, okay.
There you go. I have a grown-up voice. Katie's got a little kid voice.
Hey now.
Now it's even
Hey
out.
now. Hey now.
There we go. Now I think that should. I'm still loud. See, wait. No, I'm a little bit lower now. Okay, that'll work. So it'll make up for itself in the makeup for itself. All right, there we go.
But this is a good conversation because what we are going to be talking with Aubrey about and bringing Aubrey on to chat about is overcoming obstacles and challenges and excuses and being really and persevering, right? And so I think getting to 7 is the perfect episode to have her on for and really discussing, how it is hard. There are times where, like today would have been a lot easier for us to say, all of our stuff is in the booth right now. We have other team members who, are working hard to get stuff set up. We could have just said, oh, we'll skip this week. Or, no big deal. We'll move it.
Okay, Jay, everybody, for both the people live and the people at home, here's why you don't want to skip a week. I have my podcast, my Creator 50 podcast, and even prior, my other podcast, which was, what? Paul, what do you mean it doesn't sound like my road is working? I don't understand.
Should we just turn this guy on?
Yeah, I'll switch. There we go. It's not going to be as loud or as beautiful, but it's there. When you guys hear this in the live audience, are you hearing it as like delayed? Does it sound echoey like there's two different mics, or can I run them both? In theory, they should stick together because they're both Rode products, so you shouldn't see a lateness. But I would like to record both because it gives us more audio to work with. If for some reason it sounds horrible like this, then in which case I'll just leave it to the Rode NTG and boom. I just switched it to the table mic, Paul. It wasn't on the table mic prior. I just switched it. You got to type faster than that. So I'm waiting. And of course, with the internet being slow in the hotel, the delay to YouTube is bigger, so you have to wait longer with your audience to see sort of what's coming into what. All right, so let's just see. Waiting for people to. It is doubling. Okay, so that's horrible. I don't know. To me, I think the Rode Wireless Go's are better because I know that we're getting a recording into that box. But what I'll do is I'll mute these and we'll talk from here. And then on that microphone, let me, I guess, bring it closer for a second. What we're going to do is we're going to take this guy, and it looks good. And I'm just going to crank it up just a smidgen. There. That should give us a little bit more volume. And then we can put it back over there.
Yeah. Do we want to in shot just so it's closer?
It doesn't matter because at least this way it'll kind of level us out because I am louder than you.
There, we can have it in shot. That's okay.
It'll be it'll change the difference. But at least these are still going, so these should record what we're putting into the. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right. Everybody,
oh, better. Yay. Okay,
Michael
great.
says it's better. I don't like the NTG because it picks up so much room noise as comparison to these. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right. So, Luis, as you are the editor. Do you want to fix what we started or do we start again? I'll text him because it'll be faster than waiting for YouTube. I am also, just so you know, when you get in a pinch like this and you're not sure what it's going to do, what I did was I took my phone, switched to, you can't see this, switched to the voice recorder in the phone, set it right here because this will at least give us a safety recording. It won't have split channels, but you'll have a safety recording. So when in a situation like this, you could always take a phone and do a safety recording. Let me text Luis and see if we should start over or not.
I love Todd's comment of skipping a week is like breaking 100. Once you do it, it's easier to keep skipping and spending.
Yeah. And
so true.
100%. And I tell people when they finish their 100 streaks, don't stop. Everyone's, I did my 100. Let me take a break. And they don't come back for like 2 weeks. And when we do Vlogmas or Lita or Veda, whatever, I say once you hit your 30, don't stop. Keep going.
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
Okay.
we can power through.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I just text Luis because he's the one that's got to edit it, and we don't want to kill him. And we only got started, so the audio portion will be easy to stop. The live audience, you're here, so I like it. In a situation like this, especially if your editor is watching, it's better to ask than to just assume they got it and then leave them with nothing to edit. And our audio portion is going to be clean anyway. So, yeah, of course, he's probably not answering the phone. Why? He's there. I just texted you. There he goes. It says red. Hurry up, Luis. Type faster.
We need like Jeopardy music to play in the background.
He's a maniac. All right, I'm going to make an executive decision. Never mind, Luis. Here we go. Everybody sit up straight. Studio audience, sorry about this. We're going to do this again real quick. There's a cut point for Luis. We're going to redo the take from the top. And 5. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to The Flow. I am Doc Rock, your community manager, and
I'm Katie Fawkes.
Yo, thank you. Welcome to this special edition of The Flow. We are recording live from the hotel here in Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland is amazing.
Cleveland rocks.
I didn't grow up here, but I spent every summer here because my grand lived here, and it was punishment to get sent to Cleveland for the summer because Cleveland was such a words I can't say on the podcast. But it is pretty now. It's all dressed up. Brown Stadium is right out my window. The Guardians are playing. Everybody down here has a vibe now. It's a really cool, Cosmo City, and I'm loving it. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I can't wait to tell my sisters, hey, man, Cleveland changed. It's not where we grew up. Even the lake right here, Erie, we used to go there when we were kids, and there was stuff floating on the top. Now it's pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's been a gorgeous city to walk around in, and it's really nice. So we're here for Content Marketing World,
correct,
which is going to be absolutely incredible. So hopefully you'll follow along with us on our Instagram channel if you want to see some behind the scenes and special reels and bonus content. Doc is speaking. But what's been cool about it is that the setup process and the breakdown process kind of are in their own distinctive times on either side of the conference. So it's given us a little bit of time to actually, all get here safely, decompress for a bit, have a nice, team meetup, get everything all set up before the event itself kicks off.
And kind of do stuff.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So, yeah, that has been super, super good. I must say that I'm excited to be going with this, especially this new series that we're working on. We are working on a special series for Leap into Podcasting, which is our show, which is coming up on 29th and 30th of September. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you're listening in time to get yourself ready.
Yep.
You can go to leapintopodcasting.com, and it's going to be amazing.
Yep.
And how much does it cost?
Free.
My favorite number. That's my favorite number.
I will say, if you're like, free, I just really want to pay you guys. We hear you. We hear you. We do have both virtual, digital, as well as physical planners. So if you want something extra, you want either a tangible or a digital version of that. The planners, which are great for the whole year as well as to take notes during the event itself, they are for sale for really cheap. They're it's $25 for the digital planner and $35 for the physical planner, but they come with replay access, not only for this year's sessions, but for last year's and the year before. So if you're new to Ecamm or you haven't been to any of our events before, you will get all of our past sessions, which is just an insane amount of content that you could work through. Probably it'll take you a year to get your way through all the content. 100%. All the content. But I think it's a really great opportunity. This is our first year of doing all live sessions. So we wanted to make sure that we gave everyone the chance to be able to have replay access in case you're not able to take time off on those 2 days and really dive in with us. But we hope you do. I think it really will be a worthwhile, valuable experience to catch things live and be able to actually get your...
I do find it funny that there's always this kind of push between all live sessions, all pre-recorded sessions, and people literally get irritated that they go to conferences where the sessions are pre-recorded. The information is the information.
Yeah.
The only advantage of a live session is you could talk to people in the chat, but you can do that by entering community. So I don't, if I give you an advice, don't pin yourself on which way is better. Use both to the best of your ability. Like, is the steak better on the grill or in the frying pan? Both. Like, why would you limit yourself to which one you like better, especially if you can't always pull out a grill? Now, if you live somewhere where you could always pull out a grill, hey, I understand. But if you're in a condo, learn how to work the frying pan. Like, learn how to get what you get out of whatever you're getting. That's I guess the end all be all to that speech.
Yeah.
One last thing before we bring in our studio audience guests. Well, not really, because they're remote. Okay, I'm tripping. I did want to say to everyone listening at home, thank you so much for listening. We've made it to 500 downloads, and we are recording episode 7, which is a milestone in podcasts because they say most podcasts eat it before 7 episodes. And yeah, it's just a thing. So I want to support that and say thank you to all you guys. Also, a reminder, if you can, please go to the iTunes podcast place and leave a review. Let us know what you think, because leaving review is probably one of the best things you can do to show a podcast you care, you like them, or whatever. Leave a review and share it with people who you think might get some value out of hearing what those podcasters are talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's like absolutely perfect timing because today's episode is all about overcoming obstacles and excuses and persevering. And so it couldn't be better timing than to have it now when we've made it to this point. So, and I think it's going to be great. We are kicking off, this is our very first interview on the podcast. And we're kicking off 3 weeks of special guests and cool extra content as we get ready and excited for a leap into podcasting. So, huge thank you to our amazing guests today and our guests that are joining us for the next little bit. Make sure that you, if you aren't able to join us for the live studio audience for these episodes, then definitely, either catch them on replay on YouTube or pop us in your ear while you're jogging or cleaning or doing whatever, or driving, doing whatever else. But this is going to be extra special, awesome content. So.
I just had a very funny thought because you're talking and then I'm over here shaking my head, realizing that the audio people cannot see even the size of my head. You can't see it shaking
I do
on
that
audio.
A lot. Yeah.
It's super funny. So that's something that's why you want to come to the live tapings. Trust me. Come to live tapings every Tuesday, 12 p.m. on the Ecamm YouTube channel. Then you'll see me shaking my head in real life. Okay, let's bring on our guest because you just mentioned something about overcoming excuses, overcoming obstacles, and just having that just get it done at whatever cost mentality. And so I'm excited to have our first guest on because she is an amazing example of not letting anything get in your way. I have the benefit of being a mentor to her. I have a benefit of being a friend of hers, and seriously, one of the coolest people in the world. And I love saying that I get to know her because every time I feel like I don't want to do something, I have the bracelet. What would Aubrey do? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's say what's up to our friend Aubrey. What's up, Oz?
Hello.
It's super good.
Thanks for having me
I think
on.
the audience can hear Aubrey. Strangely enough, my MacBook cannot, but that's okay. We can hear you. Let's see. I see your thing moving over there. Okay, so keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to basically talk to Aubrey real quick, so can't wait to get this started. Say something nice, Aubrey.
All right, say something
Oh,
nice.
we hear you. It's
We hear
really
you.
quiet.
Hey, I'll make this louder.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
Your volume looks good on screen. Just make it a little louder just in case.
Oh, do you want me? Let's see, to go up that way. Is that good? Or a little bit more?
Yeah.
Hello?
For you people in the audience, how does Aubrey sound to you guys?
Okay. So, yeah.
It looks good here.
Yeah, it looks good, but
Is it's not coming through loud enough?
That is so weird. How can it echo when she's not coming out the speakers? Gang, this is
Interesting.
fan glorious.
Well, Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All kinds of fun challenges, huh?
Little echo on our side. Interesting.
That's super interesting. Okay, never mind. But you guys can hear Aubrey fine, right?
Well, I don't know. But, hey, Lewis. He said hi to me. So I say hi to
That's so
him, too.
weird because it says right there, Aubrey, talk a little. Don't, do what Michael
Talk a
said.
little.
Don't say just like hello.
Okay.
You got to say like, how much wood
Yeah.
would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would? And ancient Mesopotamian duck did something.
So, yeah, unfortunately, I cannot do all those things. We could do the tongue twisters.
How
I
is
had
that
to
possible?
do those many times in the hospital, and that would not work very well.
Do you have any idea
So,
how in the
I
heck that
don't
would be
believe-
possible? Let me try this.
Oh, what does Jeff say?
Just keep on talking.
Yeah, just talk away.
Okay, just keep on
Oh,
Yeah,
talking.
see, Obs is fine. So here's the funny thing,
Hey,
gang. It says Obs is fine. I have my MacBook speakers. Let me try this. Okay, now try.
Okay. and
Yay!
talking
Yay! All right, now we're cooking with Pam. That was weird. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
We've never interviewed people before, so we're learning.
No, you know what's funny? No, here's the honest to God truth. I've never used my MacBook speakers because, well, that's sacrilege. So it's weird to have to do something like people that don't follow instructions. So anyway.
That's awesome.
All right, cool.
All right, Obs. Now that we can actually hear you, will you give us a quick, brief? Who are you? And why you're joining us today?
Correct. Yes. So, hey, I'm Aubrey. Go by Simply Obs pretty much everywhere on the internet. And yep, I was, how do you say? Well, I can go through all the things. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was over 300 pounds. It was crazy. I lost 160. Woo! Awesome. So then I was like, I can do anything. So I learned how to code. What? Became a software engineer. Went out to San Francisco. What? So then I'm like, this is awesome. Training with friends. And to ride from San Francisco to LA over 7 days, 545 miles. And I had an accident. Oopsie. So, but hey, they thought I wouldn't make it through the night. I died. But I'm kind of, stubborn. And I'm here. So, very excited about that. So,
That is absolutely amazing. Okay, Obs, if you could do us a favor, turn your mic up just a little bit more. Like, give us like 10% more volume. So just push that Rodecaster Pro thing all the way to the top.
oh, you want me all the way to the top?
Yeah, don't be scared.
Don't be scared. We got this.
I'm scared.
Now you're good. Now you're good.
Okay,
That sounds
how's
better.
that?
All right, appreciate it.
All right.
All right, gang. So, we wanted to keep this like super, like natural, right? We don't want to get it too polished up. So, I guess a question for the people that don't know you: what advice would you give to someone who still finds themselves on that perfection kick?
Oh man, the perfection kick, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
and I
we're
like
gonna
how
get,
you
like,
laugh because we have
serious.
this conversation so often.
I'm like, yeah, do you want me to just point right there?
Yes,
Don't be so hard on yourself.
there you go. Don't
So
be so
I
hard on
see
yourself.
it all the time, but yeah, perfectionism, I said, perfection does not exist. So, yep, don't worry, putting that on a shirt. But basically, well, you hear my voice, I'm like, my voice kept me from actually getting on recording videos for 5 years or something, because I'm like, after my accident, because I'm like, I mean, I used to speak for a living partially, like I was software engineer, but I was like on the enablement team, so I kind of taught our people how to function, or how to work the software. So I'm like, Wait a second. So, I used to be able to do this good, and now I sound weird? What? So, I mean, it was still something, and I'm thankful that now, 5-6 years now, I'm finally seeing stuff, but I'm like, go back to the video of, I had just recorded a commercial for the coding boot camp I did, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like so different. I was like, that's who I was. But speaking of, like, Doc's like, oh, you probably wouldn't have even hung out with this. I'm like, what? So I think it's funny because I'm like, oh, dude, you have no idea. It was hilarious because I'm like, I was so terrified back then. I was like extremely anxious and stuff, but I think I hid it well. Now I'm just like, there you go.
This is who I am. Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's the running joke in our group is that Aubrey was so cool that because she's always like, oh, I want to be like the Aubrey that I used to be. And I'm like, we don't know that girl. The hell with that girl. That girl was probably mean to us and wouldn't be our friend and blah, blah. But the Aubs we got now loves us to death and we love her. So we like the Aubs that we have now. We don't care about the old Aubrey. And it's super funny because I just heard something recently, and it's something that not only I love so much, I'm going to teach as many people as possible. The you are right now, it is impossible for you to be the you that you were even 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Because the way the human body works, every cell in your body dies and replicates itself within a certain amount of time. So there's not a single cell in your body today that was there 5 years ago. When a cell doesn't die and lives forever, you know what that's called? Cancer. Right? So by the nature of science, you can't possibly be the you that you used to be. It doesn't exist. So get over, I want to be back the way I was at some XYZ, because that's impossible. Scientifically, not a single cell in your body is still there.
And I think too, I love your story, Aubrey, because you're it's the epitome of you remembering all of the things that you were great at, but then you also said that those were things that you felt, nervous about, and you were overthinking it at that point as well. And I think that's a good reminder for all of us that, often you'll see someone up on stage or someone speaking on a video or in a podcast, and you're like, oh, I'm never, like, it's that comparison, right? Like, I'm never going to get to sound as good as them, or like, I'm never going to get that video to be as great as I did that one day. We're always thinking that something was better than it was, or forgetting what all of those feelings were inside. Like, we're always kind of overcoming that feeling of inadequacy, or the feeling, or the nerves, or the, anything that's kind of keeping us there, even when we had our best moments. Like, even when we look back and that was like our best moment, in that moment there was still the nerves and there was still all that other stuff. So why wouldn't you have it now, or why wouldn't you still have those kinds of feelings that pop up now? It's more about how you deal with them, right? Like how you get past it, and how you're able to,
you make an executive decision on how to react to something. Everything you do, people say everything is choices. They're correct. And some people say, well, I didn't have a choice because so-and-so did so-and-so. No, but you always have the choice of how you react to it.
Yeah.
So you can let it consume you, take you over, or you can use it as a driving factor. It's one of the reasons why I love Aubrey, because she decided in so many different cases along the way to use her accident or the way she was feeling as motivation to do something different, do something better, do something extra. So in that thought, Aubrey, we have your show, and can you, I know what it is, so it's hard for me not to spill the beans because I know what it is. Can you explain your show to people and what you're doing?
Correct, yeah, absolutely. So every morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, but I have a little morning motivational minute-ish.
That's my favorite part.
Ish is like my favorite word now after the accident, because I'm like, yeah, nothing's exact at all. It's all ish, just ish. Yeah, I'll be there around 5-ish. Yep, we'll start about 12-ish. I mean, hey, I'm still gonna do it, but there's that ish.
Well, the ish gives you that level of permission to do it, but to give yourself some grace.
Grace,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I love it.
See, there you go. Yeah,
It's super funny. I think the thing I like about the morning minute-ish is my interpretation is because Aubrey, like myself, will do random sidetracks in the middle of what you're talking about. So the minute becomes 3 because you just go, hey, whoa, dog or squirrel, and you just go the other direction. So I like that part of it, and I like what you say, Katie. It allows you the grace to make the adjustments accordingly. So yeah, all of the above is cool.
So why did you initially? Oh, sorry. I guess two questions that are linked together. What was the point that made you want to go live or create video? A kind of the before you and then the now you. What was the point that said like, okay, I need to do this? What about video made you need to do it? And then how did that translate into what you do now? I mean, to do a daily show is a lot. So like, how did you what was that path?
Yeah. Well, actually, the path, let's see. Well, firstly, we'll just talk motivation.
Sure,
yeah. So I need a lot of it all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, if I need it, I'm sure there's others, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm like, you know what? I'll get it for me. But by speaking it out, like, I'm able to share with others. And I'm like, everybody needs some motivation, right?
Yep.
Like, no matter what you're going through, like, you have a crazy day and your boss is yelling at you, or your kids are running around being all crazy, or,
Yep.
I'm like, all sorts of things can happen. One thing's the same. Get a little motivation. Oh, that's pretty awesome, And so I want to say the whole short-ish, minute-ish, it's like, all right, it's more of a bite-sized thing. So
Yeah.
I'm not like that going on and waxing methodically like about, what is it, ancient Mesopotamian basket weaving. I'm like, so there's not all that. And I'm like, hey, let's keep it short, let's keep it sweet, let's condense it, and then go for it. So
That is so good. I was okay. First of all, we're gonna fight because Aubrey likes to tell us that she forgets everything, but she remembered that I always say wax rhapsodically, and she remembered my example is always ancient Mesopotamian basket weaving. Probably two of the hardest things to remember. Oh, you remember that? You remember me saying dumb stuff? Okay, cool.
Hey.
I thought we were friends, Ops. I'm just saying.
That makes I think this is an important thing for everyone listening and watching to really take home, because I think a lot of what gets in the way of wanting to create a podcast or wanting to create a show, a live show or a recorded show, especially a live show, is this idea of you think it's much bigger than it is or than it needs to be. And so I love that you said, okay, I really need to have these motivational moments. So I'm going to broadcast these motivational moments because it keeps you consistent. It makes sure that you're doing it, but it also like helps other people, which is awesome. But you knew that it would need to be brief and attainable because that's the kind of content it was, and that's what you were able to handle and to manage, and it felt like an approachable task.
Right.
I think every time, we think about shows, we're always like, well, it's got to be an hour and it's got to have, this like format and workflow. It doesn't. Like, it really matters more about what your content is, what your goals are, and what what you need to do in order to be consistent. You know, when I worked in social media marketing, the advice we gave all the time to people that were, you know, opening up new social accounts or businesses that were starting to get into marketing, it was like, they're like, well, I should open it on all the channels. And I was like, you should pick your favorite social channel and start there. And if you want to add on stuff later because it's manageable or because that's a growth idea, great. But when you open up an account on, you know, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and then you realize all of those take, you know, whatever amount of time for you to populate all the time, then it's really easy to say like, whoa, okay, I'm in over my head. I can't do that. I need to pare it. I need to stop doing it. I'm busy this week. I can't. All the excuses come in because you've made it not attainable. So like what you've done is great.
Because you set yourself up.
You've set yourself up even by calling it ish, by making it shorter. You've still done even doing it daily is still a lot, but you've given yourself that level of grace and permission to say, it's not going to be the same every single time. It's going to be what I'm able to manage. It's not going to ever really be all that long. And the goal is really to just help myself and people that are listening and watching.
We just talked about recently with the crew that this is from Rich. Back when we did our original Vlogmas, we got to a day and Rich is doing his regular business. So he was super busy, but he didn't want to miss a date. And so in order to maintain his consistency, Rich came on. He said, hey, everyone, it's Vlogmas Day 7 or whatever. Just want to say what's up. I hope your holidays are doing fine, XYZ. And I got nothing, so I'll see you tomorrow. And that was his entire video. But that was better than skipping because like we talked about in the pre-show, a lot of times skipping crushes your momentum and then it's a problem.
It gives you a different level of permission. You're giving yourself the permission to take a break.
Yes.
And then it's much easier to say, well, you know, I gave myself permission to take a break. And then then it like threw off my repurposing plan, or I didn't have the content for this. And so then it's easier to say, okay, well, also the following week, or I'm more busy now than I was when I gave myself the break.
Correct.
So you're opening up your excuses in the other way. So.
Well, so this is why I have a problem with the entire creator community, like absorbing this burnout thing. Yes, I get it. Burnout is real, 100%. But when you know you have it, yes, do it. When you're just like, I don't feel like doing it and I'm going to label it burnout, it's a little, disingenuous to the people that are actually having like a full-on, mental break. And it's also setting yourself up for failure. You're not cheating us. You're cheating yourself because you're going to have a hard time going again once you take that break. Yeah. So you even have to be careful, similar to the pharmaceutical commercials, and they start going through the list of symptoms, and then you go, oh man, I got all of those. And then you start asking your doctor. It's the same thing. Don't hear other people talk about their burnout or their issues and start looking for those problems in yourself because they might not exist, right? And so one of the things that Albs and I talk about a lot is I was like, Albs, you got to keep sharing your stuff and don't stop, because every day someone has an accident that causes a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. Mm-hmm. And those people are going to be looking to, everyone likes representation, right? They're going to be looking to find someone like them or they can align with. And I feel like you're doing a fantastic job of that, number one. And my favorite thing is it allows me to not let any of my other students come with excuses, because I can say, hey, Aubrey did her work, And so Aubrey just goes, yeah, I did my work. What are you doing? So it's kind of cool. Have people who've gone through similar accidents reached out to you?
That is a good question, because I'm like, I really didn't find anyone for a long time who, had anything close to what I had.
Yeah.
If that makes sense? I'm like, it was mostly people who had concussions.
Yeah.
And
that's scary
I'm
enough.
not saying one thing is better or worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just different. Yeah.
But correct. Yeah. Like, it was just like, wait. So it's just interesting being like, okay, you can drive, right? I'm not allowed to drive. Wait, what? But no, it was, 4 years before I met somebody who had something somewhat similar, and
Wow.
I'm like, not the same ish. Using it again. So I'm like, once again, which is crazy, but I'm like, I'm finding more, how do you say, info
Yeah.
in the stroke world than
Yeah.
I am in the TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
What? So, because basically my brain injury was like the adult version of shaken baby syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So, like 10% of people survive. They gave me a 5% chance.
Yeah, because you were such a miracle in getting through to the other side of that. You're like an exception. you were the
Correct, yeah.
exception to all of the other cases.
In true Aubrey fashion, she kept it gangster and kept going. See, Aubrey, that's cool. And you know, I remember, like, I had a stroke. I had a TIA stroke. And I remember coming out of it and having brain fog for a little bit, but it went away. So I think whether you know it or not, you're probably still catching people. But I think, to me, your biggest impact actually is stopping the excuse mobile for people because they can, like, how can I look myself in the mirror and be like, I don't want to do it today because I have a headache, when Aubrey just does it anyway and does it with a smile on her face, sometimes playing her guitar, sometimes having the whiskey at hand, sometimes with her jokes, you know, and it's funny. So yeah, I think I love the fact that you're doing what you're doing. I love the fact that you're showing that you should just put your excuses aside and go for it.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that now you let your regular Aubrey flag fly. Like, I'm going to be the Aubrey that I am, and I'm not adjusting it for anybody. This is just what you get.
Flag.
I love that.
Yeah, I think that's so hugely important. And I feel like that's where the magic happens. I'm willing to bet that more people find benefit in what you're doing now, even versus what you were doing before your accident, where, you know, you were one of many that could help, you know, in a particular niche, certainly. Like, it wasn't that you weren't good at what you were doing, but there was the kind of, I don't know, it feels like it's more, you are more authentically you, and you're in this space where you're helping not only yourself but others. You are an exception again. Like, it's something where it's different than what everyone else is.
It's funny because that's where the real definition of the term exceptional comes from.
Right.
People tend to use it for
Yeah.
like, I reached this pinnacle. But in a lot of cases, the pinnacle is something anybody could reach if they put the work in.
Yeah.
So that's not what exceptional technically means, right? People like to throw around these words without fully understanding them. Aubrey, you are exceptional because you're being an exception to the rule, exception to the quote unquote norm. I hate that word. And things like that. So I appreciate you and what you do. We talk about this all the time. In our studio audience, Todd had mentioned that he took a 6-month break off, and it's something we talked about because Todd's also one of my students.
Yeah.
And the thing that Todd stated in his statement is that the restarting was actually harder than beginning
starting
the
in the
first
first time. Yeah.
So if nothing else, try not to take those breaks, because the restart is completely different. Here's how I like to help people understand. When you got no gas and you're pushing a car,
Yeah.
that first couple of feet is freaking super hard. You're trying to move 2,800, 3,600 pounds. Once you get it going, say like a quarter of a block, you can push that sucker forever, because as long as it's on the flat ground,
As long as it's moving, yeah.
it's going to keep going with a little bit less, going. The minute you stop again, you're going to have a hard time.
Momentum, yeah.
And actually, trying to stop it by pulling, also very hard, because the momentum is already going. So a lot of that resistance, once it's behind you, it no longer can pull you back, because like a car, anything once it's in motion, it's going to stay in motion. Hey, somebody said that once.
Yeah. I will say maybe an exception. I'm struggling with the right word for it, but in the world of podcasting, I would say that it is okay to take a quote unquote break if you have a show, if you've planned ahead and your show is the kind of show that has seasons. So
yes.
Kirk Nugent is a great example of
planning
this.
Your exceptions.
Right, yeah, you're planning your breaks in advance, like which then 100%. And that makes sense if you have the kind of show where you are building a season around a particular topic or theme.
Correct.
Or, I mean, I think Kirk has like guests lined up, but I think there is still an overarching theme.
Well, I know
to
why
it all.
Kirk has the seasons, and I'm going to tell this secret, and nobody listening to this or watching the live audience tell Kirk I told you, but I know how his seasons work. His seasons go. Somehow they magically stop at the same time that his 3 kids get out of school.
Yeah.
And
I
they
feel
restart,
that,
and they restart magically when his kids go back to school.
Yeah.
So Kirk's seasons are based around being the dad, which is brilliant. Because you're letting your audience know, they know what to expect. They know that they don't have to stress about missing an episode because they also got them bad children to tend to.
Yeah.
Right? And then
and it feels like you're also building a momentum towards the launch of the new season, right? So
it gives you a chance to stop, course correct, reassess things, book new guests, get new equipment, adjust equipment, remove equipment. So yeah, I agree with you. If you know that you're going to have things scheduled, it's kind of cool. You can let it in and out.
Yeah.
So I love that. Obs, I have to tell you something that's great because it came from our studio audience. It says, Obs saw the Grim Reaper and threw him out the window. That is the best comment ever. Thank you, Mr. Moderator Paul Duncan.
Get out of here.
Beat it, squirrel. I got stuff to do. I'm happy to have you on as our first official guest, Aubrey, because, again, number one, just genuinely one of the coolest people on the planet. And we always I think we all rally around you because of your energy. And I believe, like, given the chance to, here's the funny thing. You had that stuff in you before, but you were hiding it over trying to, let's be honest, be a female in the coding world is a lot. Okay? I worked in the Valley. It's a lot, right? And the females always have to work harder and show out more and sort of fight all of the blockades and things like that. So I can see where your anxiety would come from. I can see where your comparison syndrome would come from. And so in a way, the real Aubrey was there, and it took the accident and the limitations to then allow you to get out, right? A lot of times for all creatives involved, you find some of your best work in the limitations. Mm-hmm. So don't get freaked out when you get stuck with a limitation, like not having your whole studio today, Doc, and having to do this weird thing that we're doing that's seeming to work now. So you will find your creativity in your limitations, and I hope you folks can get a takeaway from that.
Oh my gosh.
Very true.
Very, very true. I love it. I'm trying to think if we have any other questions.
Well, it's hard for me to interview Aubrey because I talk to her all the time. It's a conversation. Like we talk at least once a month for sure, but every weekend we talk. So it's a thing. I like hanging out with Obs every weekend. Do you have any advice or something that you would like to pass on to our listeners, Obs?
Well, let's see. Advice, I would say, well, how about I tell you a story?
Yes.
All right, love stories.
I thought I had made it. Like I was teaching and doing everything I could to help minorities and LGBTQ, everybody with coding, learn how to code and basically change their life. I even got invited to the White House under Obama. So to attend a Tech and Innovation Summit, I'm like, check that out. See, I was like making it, right?
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because about that time I was interviewing for jobs, and it's kind of awesome. Go in the White House and interview for jobs. Yep, it helps things. But I'm like, But then after I had my accident, I'm like, wait, what is gonna happen? Whoa, who am I? Like, Doc, like you were saying, like, hone in, like, when you're limited to what you have. Well, thankfully, I have the camera, my microphone. But I'm like, I love this guitars, but my hand, like, this one's good, this one not. It's like, what is it? Went from over 80 words a minute to 20 if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Like, so, and I use left to play my chords. I'm like, that's a bit of a problem. But like Doc said, it's of course, now I'm having my aphasia difficulty. I can't think of the word. What do you call it? Like, sorry. Constraint or whatever.
Yeah, limitation.
Limitation, yeah. Constraint, yeah.
A limitation, thank you. So it's like I can't do what I normally would or how I usually used to. I have to work with what I got. And I did a lot of writing before.
Yeah.
Well, now I can't type, but I can talk. But I sound awful. What? All right, Abs. You got to figure it out. What? Well, got to figure it out. So what I'm still working on, I saw, like, J. Albert even said, like, how do you even do it? Like, embrace it? I'm like, I wish I had a very succinct answer for you. I don't. I'm like, this is Aubrey. And people say, oh, 2.0? No, when I lost weight, that was Aubrey 2.0. This is Aubrey 3.0.
Nice. So you can release Aubrey 4.0 when we release Ecamm 4.0. We can have like a dual release.
Yeah, exactly.
Release at the same time. I like what you just said, because I think a lot of people will ask that question of you. How do you embrace, like, because I always tell people embrace the suck, right? You've been in my class. I say embrace the suck all the time. That's a military thing. Yeah. But you don't need a time or a space or an accident or anything to just make the executive decision to embrace and accept what you are and where you are, who you are now. Know that with any practice, you can change if you wish, or you can work with what you got. So you don't need permission to do that. Just do it, right? Like, hey, I accept me for who I am. You can do that today. Walk into the bathroom, look yourself in the mirror, and say, I accept me for who I am. I embrace me for who I am. I am going to work to make myself better, but I'm accept the one that I got right now.
Yeah.
And then my other line, you know me, say I am a creator and say it out loud. Don't just do it in your head, because it allows you to not freak out about being on camera, having the mics and stuff do what they want to do, things like that. So I definitely still say my affirmations to myself out loud in the mirror, and it's not even the kind you guys learn in church. Like, I just make up my own, right? Because it's a reminder to me that if I stop doing what I'm doing, I'm going to disappoint all the people at the flow, all of the people that are part of the Ecamm community and things like that, as well as disappoint myself. So I just accept it for what it is, right? You just got to do what you got to do. Yeah. So I appreciate that, Obs. You are absolutely freaking remarkable. And I love when you pop into the chat, it's like the whole chat lights up, and all of a sudden everybody goes, hey, Obs, like right down the list. Because I think the effect that you have on me, I think you have on the majority of the community. And you can always keep that in your back pocket for when you're having one of those, insert your favorite bad word here days.
Yeah, I think
can just go like this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
My favorite button.
I love it. I think it totally makes me, and this expression gets like a bad rap because I think that it again plays into sort of that burnout culture, and I do think that there's a time and a place for it. But hearing what you said reminded me of like being a kid and hearing my dad say, you know, well, if you can't walk, you crawl, you know, and I know that expression has a bad rap, but I think that what you said in that is really the embodiment of that. I can't type anymore. I can't get the content out the way that I used to be able to do it. And so I needed to switch to this different medium that maybe was scarier. Maybe you don't like how you look or your voice or whatever else, but it accomplishes the goal. So, you know, you might be sitting there and thinking to yourself, like, I've always been, a writer, I can't do video, or I've always been a podcaster, I can't add video content into it. If it gets you to the solution in a better way, or it makes your workflow easier, or it pushes you outside your comfort zone to be able to reach people better, it may be crawling and maybe it's not as much fun as just walking, but it might get you there, you know, in a better way, or it might get you there in a different way, or teach you a different thing, or it might be the only way to get there. And so I think it's hugely important.
I think the embodiment of hell is the comfort zone.
Yeah.
People that live in the comfort zone, you're never getting a chance to experience growth or, you know, be better or be different. And it's really weird because in one voice you tell yourself to accept yourself for who you are, but it's still okay to do that and still want to be better. But realizing that being better requires work. And I think a lot of people like to draw these weird lines in the sand that like, oh, I am what I am and that's just the way it is. That sentence is correct, but that still doesn't mean you can't make yourself better for yourself, even if for nobody else.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people like to take that and use that as the line, but they're using that line to be like in the comfort zone. So it's like, I got what I got. Oh, what do you got? Oh, I got $100. $100 sounds awesome. Yeah, man, I'm winning. I go, but what if that was 100 million? You still good? No.
Yeah.
So it's okay to try to, and if we are fine with that conversation when it comes to money or things or materials, we do really bad at doing that for ourselves. And I think it's something that I like to strive to get people to work towards. And I know you do the same, Aubrey, which is why I still love your poster. People at home, you can't see her poster behind her head, says, don't be so hard on yourself. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely love that poster. And sometimes when Aubrey gets hard on herself, our whole crew goes, Obs, look at the poster. And she goes, yeah, you guys are right. Every time. It's so great.
I need a poster like that. I definitely, and it's funny because I totally preach it to other people, which I think is important for everyone to hear. The people who you think are on top of it, or you think are really, super organized or have it all together, they also have bad days. They also have times where everything goes wrong, or someone leaves a comment that makes them feel little, or, all of the stuff that happens, or, they thought that they could do it better. They were being a perfectionist about it. The important part about perseverance, which it was what I titled today's episode, is really about pushing through that noise and figuring out, who you want to be and what you want to accomplish and what it takes to get there. And it might be that you are finding an easier path to save yourself time because work-life balance is super important to you, or it might be that it's a much harder path, but you need to get there because that's how you need to live, or how you need to work, or how you want to be able to share something that's important to other people. So, your stumbling blocks are helping other people overcome theirs. So it doesn't make it easy for you, but that's part of being kind of the leader and a voice for others that are also struggling. It makes a huge difference. You're not showing up matters. Like, it matters a lot. So it I think forces us all to think through, like, what is your mission? What are you showing up for?
That's my favorite. And the best part is Aubrey delivers it with a smile on her face and the best freaking expressions in the planet. So I always crack up because Aubrey has funny facial expressions, which is so cool. Like, that's part of you. That's your energy, right? So yeah, super cool.
What I do?
Yeah, I'm still jealous about this whole peach milkshake thing you be bringing, to the party sometimes, because I don't live in Georgia, so I can't get the peach milk. Oh my God. See, she has one. She
she's
always
ready.
has the peach
She's
milkshake.
ready.
And I'm like, I can't get one of those. All right, I'm coming to Georgia.
Yeah, we need a Georgia road trip.
We need Ecamm, Georgia, and see Aubrey and Felicia, Michelle, the rest of the crew. So, man, Aubrey, thanks for being our first guest. Absolutely amazing.
I think it was kind of perfect that we had virtually every tech challenge on location with Aubrey as a guest, because had we just given up, this episode would have been useless.
It would have made no sense whatsoever. Oh my goodness, he didn't even think about that. There you
And
go.
it's episode 7.
It's episode 7.
So we have to do it. We're committed. And we're leading into Leap, which, Aubrey, you were so kind. And I want to share this story out loud because I think, again, it's super important for everyone to hear this. Aubrey emailed me, and the email was something to the extent of, I know I'm way too late to be a Leap speaker. I know I cannot all be involved with Leap into podcasting this year, but I just wanted to reach out and say that I have this cool story to share. I want to share my story with people. And it wasn't too late because we're doing these interviews leading up to Leap. We will certainly be bundling this up and sharing it with all the Leap attendees. So I think we just tell ourselves like, oh, I can't reach out to that person. They're already done that thing, or I'm not going to bring value. They've already got it together. I think it's
the
okay.
who wants to listen to me
Who wants to
thing
listen to
creeps.
me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm so
Yep.
thankful that you did that, because I think your story is incredibly important for people to hear. And I'm so excited that we'll be able to share it with everyone at Leap, and I'm thrilled that you're able to join us today.
Aubrey, you've never said who wants to listen to me, have you?
What? I mean,
Okay, Paul, no
Never.
snitching. What happens in the gold group stays in the gold group. Love it. I'm happy you shared that, Case, because I do think a lot of times when you talk to people and like, how did you do so-and-so? I just asked.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's really, and I'm the person that always, like, again, I say this, I think every episode or every video, I overthink it to death. I am never the person that asks. But you know what? I say yes to almost everything. So I'm a great mark to ask. So
Super funny.
Definitely
You would
ask me.
figure because you always get these emails, you would know that people send these emails is okay. But it is definitely different when you do it, right? That's super funny.
I mean, I
I
think
have my tip.
it builds good relationships.
It does. It does. Yeah, even like when I got Uncle Ray to come on the show, I was like, I can't believe I'm emailing. As I'm typing the email, I can't believe I'm just going to cold email. I'm going to cold email them. Hey, so I just do this show, and I want people to hear about copywriting. I think storytelling is coming big for content creators, podcasters, and that. And I would just love to have you on because I love your books. Matter of fact, every time I get a copy of your book, I give it away. I just gave my last copy away to my boss, which was true. And then he's like, yeah, I'll come on your show, and I watch your show. I'm like, wait a minute, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I watch the show all the time. I'm like, oh my God. It's such a crazy experience. So you never freaking know. But you won't know if you don't ask. Boom.
That is
Win.
true. So yeah, I talked to Doc about it like 2 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
So I
proud
was
of
like,
you.
yep,
Oh,
he's gonna kick my rear.
Yeah, I try to scare her, but I'm scared of her, actually. Guys, I do want to talk to you about something because as we did have this special episode and we did run into some challenges, I wanted to ask, now that we're all out here creating stuff and we're doing content, and a lot of times we're going to be in places like now where you're on your location, not in your studio, dealing with hotel internet or conference internet. Have you ever had what I like to call a street emergency? Well, let me tell you a little story about street emergency and Leap in the live streaming. Last year, we're doing our Leap conference at the Ecamm office. And in the middle of the entire show, like day 2, the internet provider for the city that Ecamm headquarters exist in decided that'll be a good day to not provide internet.
Not show up.
I'm like, hey, you got like one job, fam. You provide internet. It says it in the title. They decided, nah, not today. We don't care about Ecamm's conference or whatever. Here's what is funny. We did not know that the internet in the town dropped. because nothing happened at the conference. And you're like, wait, Doc, what kind of like freaking magic is that? I know your family's from Haiti, but what kind of voodoo is that? Well, it turns out that I had just installed Speedify on my computer and I had Speedify on my phone. And in the process of interviewing the people from Speedify, I had set my computer, but had it running. We were just talking in the background. We were doing like a meeting to see what we were going to talk about for the Speedify panel for Leap. And so luckily I had Speedify on, set up, and I had my iPhone set up as the backup connection. Mm-hmm. When the connection died, I would have had a stream emergency, but without my even knowing, my phone kicked in and we went through the whole stream and everything was fine. Really funny, that night when the stream was over, we all went back. I go to my hotel and then I decided, okay, now I can watch the Manchester United game because I'm not working. So I open up my phone and AT&T goes, wah, 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 you're out of data. How the heck did I use all of the data? And I figured out that my iPhone 13 Pro Max was the connection for an entire live conference thanks to Speedify. Yeah. So make sure you go to speedify.com and download Speedify. You can also just go to the Apple Store on your Mac, open the App Store, type in Speedify. It is hands down one of the coolest things. And besides just saving you in a stream emergency, it's a full VPN, so you can have secure connections if you're making banking transactions or, you want to do things where you just don't have any drama. So thanks to Speedify for sponsoring this episode of The Flow. And know that my stream emergency is an actual true story, so you can go check out the replays yourself. It was so funny, and we didn't even know until it was over.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stream emergency you really want to deal with.
Correct.
Are the ones
Absolutely correct.
where it just solves itself because you've pre-planned and partnered with the right people. I mean, yeah, I really can't speak highly enough about it as a tool.
It's a lifesaver. It's a lifesaver.
It's the number one thing that goes wrong is internet connectivity. So I think just having it as an extra, and they have a great deal for everyone that attends the event. So if you're signed up, you'll be covered. We'll release that promo code during the event. If you're not signed up, it's a really good reason to sign up for free.
100%. You could be doing your trial now. And I think you will end right about the time we start the conference because there's a 14-day free trial. Yeah. Do not tell them I said this in the sponsor read, but it's way too cheap for what it actually does. They should probably like double or triple the price, but don't tell them I told you.
Yeah, get in now.
Get in now before somebody listens to me for once.
It's so funny that this was like, we were like, okay, we're going to start doing some more sponsor reads so that we can show you what a sponsor read sounds like and how the process goes within the video. And it's hilarious because that is actually a completely true story. So for us, we're like, we don't even need copy from you, Speedify. We've got this because we
explain it.
We lived this.
Yeah. Well, that, and when I was in San Diego for Social Media Marketing World, I also needed to use Speedify because the connection in the hotel was horrendous.
Yeah.
Like absolutely horrendous.
It bonds together a bunch of different sources. So, it's great if you're on a team and you have, we had a hotspot, we had, the internet, the Wi-Fi that was at the hotel, and then we have our phones. So between, a few of us and the few different sources, you're able to create a pretty powerful internet connection.
Absolutely. What's funny is my sister-in-law went to Italy for the World Coffee Conference, and I was like, "Can I just go? You need a tech person? Do you need a translator?" She's like, "You speak Italian?" I speak Japanese. Does it count? Anyway, I couldn't go with her, unfortunately. But she said, I need a VPN for when I travel. And I said, you already have one. And she goes, no, I only downloaded that Speedify thing. I go, yeah, it's a VPN too.
Done.
And she's like, wait, what? How do you install it? I go, it's already installed. You're good. Just click the Speedify button first. You're already VPN'd. And she was like, are you sure? Like, so nervous that it wasn't the same thing. And they are. So even me, as a nerd for my family, I installed it on everyone's phone. And I tell them, before you decide to pay bills or do things on your phone, hit the Speedify button first, so you have an extra layer of security. So it's quite amazing for what it is. You can even sign up for like family plans and things like that. I can't tell you enough. And I just like having them as a sponsor. And the cool part is, I did that so good, you didn't even know we were breaking into a sponsor read until I had to legally tell you.
Well, thank you to Speedify for saving the day. Thank you to Aubrey for hanging out with us today. Thanks to all of our live studio audience and all of our listeners listening at home and every single one of you. We expect to see you at Leap into Podcasting at the end of this month.
I can't wait. My favorite part about Leap is I get to be in headquarters, so I get to hang out with Ken and Glenn in real space.
Yeah.
And they're way funnier than you think. So they're a lot of fun. So I can't wait to go there. Guys, if you are listening to this at home, or if you're in the live studio audience, make sure you jump over to the Apple iTunes store, leave us a review if you like what's going on. Of course, if you have questions or something you want us to talk about, you can reach us at flow@ecamm.com. And make sure you hit the subscribe button inside the podcasting. It's now called follow instead of subscribe. I don't care what your podcast app says. Just click it. Because what that will do is on Tuesdays when we release an episode, you'll already get it. But you know, if you're the cool kids, you're just at the live taping anyway, because right when I say the part of bye, we open up to Q&A. So if you're building a show and you want to get your questions answered live, come to the live tapings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even from the hotel in the middle of Cleveland.
Yep. We're here. We got you.
If we don't know the answer, we'll send you to Aubrey. If you're nervous, we'll give you your contact info to Aubrey so she'll yell at you about not being nervous. And yeah, and make sure you check out the Morning Minutes Motivation-ish. I didn't say that right. How do you say it, Aubrey? I forgot.
Morning Motivational Minute. Ish.
Morning.
You got to do the ish with the head tilt.
Yes. You got to do the health. That is very important.
The head tilt is cool. It's always like, yes, queen. You got to throw the hand up.
Yeah.
It's like trademark.
Exactly.
The trademark. Exactly. Man, you are a rock star. Thank you so much. I can't say enough about like how happy I am that you of all people got to be our first, and now I got to tell Jared Spink that he didn't make the list because I told him that I kind of wanted him to be the first one.
Oh, too
but
bad.
I'll blame it on Katie. I was like, Katie vetoed it, man.
Yeah, it's my fault.
It's like, yeah.
So when you see Jared, just tell him, just go like, first.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to get you a number 1 jersey so you can rock it while you ride your golf cart.
There we go. I'm like,
Love it.
my golf cart's kind of awesome.
It is awesome.
Y'all gonna come see.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, people listening at home. Make sure you go over to iTunes and get with the flow. Mahalo, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
All right, studio audience, you guys got questions. Now is the time to let them rip. I didn't really see anything other than
There was one from G. Albert about...
Yeah, but Aubrey answered it
Yeah.
in the show because she's paying attention.
Yeah.
Why am I scrolling? You know what? We have the ability to go Q:.
Well, there was one I did want. I don't know if this one here. So G. Albert asked about a video podcast checklist and a pretest. So I will answer this one by saying that yes, normally in a normal situation, we do definitely a pretest. We definitely do a sound check. We are on location, so we both don't have time to do the usual setup that we would do, and anything is gonna and can go wrong because we're not in our normal studio setup.
Well, and we were setting up for the show and then ran back, and yeah. So here's what's funny. I am like Mini Pearl when it comes to my gear. I leave these things on until last minute. This was stabbing me in the neck the whole time, and I'm over here like trying to mess with it, but I finally took it off. I always leave the paper on as long as possible. Mm-hmm. My Rodecaster Pro is like 1.5 years old, or Rode 2s, and I still had that on there. Anyway, so.
But yes, it is a good question. It is something we
question.
preach. I think it's just, it goes into the conversation of perfectionism, and persistence comes with sometimes you just need to let it go.
Okay, so let me have that box. You can unplug it because it's battery powered.
Okay, this one.
Yeah. So, Felicia asked a very good question. Mm-hmm. You know what happened, Katie? This is why it was weird the whole time. Jesus criminy. I was wondering why it was so... Oh my God.
We did it. We did it with face cam, potato cam.
We filmed the whole podcast in potato cam.
For Jill.
I was wondering.
Aubrey's like, you're failing at this.
Oh, now you got something to say, Aubrey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. And I was right in the other scene. How goofball is that? Okay, so this is it, and I still have Speedify connected. Because this is gangster, by the way. This is a Nighthawk. This is the 4G version. The newer one is even slightly better. But this is the Nighthawk that Felicia is talking about. And I still use Speedify even with the Nighthawk connected.
So you don't need it with, so you don't need to have it with Speedify, but obviously the more sources of internet that you can bond together, the better your connection.
And even at home, when I'm doing a live stream at home where I have a borderline flawless connection, I still have Speedify running because it stops all the random drops that come just because that's the way the internet works.
Or if you're in Amesbury when the internet just drops out completely.
Just drops out completely. So yeah, I keep it running all the time. That is a good question, though.
Question.
I also like having it because I know that when I'm doing stuff on my banks or whatever.
Yeah, having the extra
I've run into
security is
2 or
good.
3 sites that absolutely hate it. Like, it won't load certain pages, but it was something random, like some drugstore or Target or something.
Yeah.
So I just stop it long enough to go to Target. You could whitelist that stuff, but yeah, that's a good question. I appreciate it. Let me see. Scroll
It
back
looks
to the
like
bottom. That was it.
we did it. Well, I will say we're literally gonna power down and run back and finish building the booth. But if you have any questions about content marketing world or content marketing in general, there are tons and tons of experts here. We will take your questions and answer them with behind the scenes videos and content. So definitely let us know. We're not streaming from this show the way that we did for Podcast Movement because the internet's real bad here. So we just, know your limits. But we're happy to shoot some kind of behind the scenes answers to questions. And
As you get to these shows and go to these booths, you'll be amazed at what shows will want to charge you for internet. It's mind-boggling.
pick your battles.
Yeah, so we're going to just record stuff for you. So yeah, if you run any questions, whatever, drop us a message and we'll see if we can find something. You can look at the Content Marketing World site, see the exhibitors if you want us to ask something for you.
Yeah, we're happy
That's cool.
to ask.
And we got a pretty cool booth.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And we'll be we're nearing the end of our tour, so we're heading to People of Video next. So next week we'll be in Albany, New York at People of Video. So if you haven't grabbed your tickets to that, you absolutely still can. Dan's running some specials, so there's lots of opportunity there, and we're doing a meetup. So if you need any of that information, you can find that in the community. You can email us directly too, and we'll happy to send it along. But thanks for hanging out, Felicia.
Yeah, this is awesome. And I can't wait for POV. It's going to be so rad.
It's gonna be great.
And it's funny, they have crummy internet and the content marketing.
Oh no,
event.
they have very good internet. They just want a lot of money for it.
They just want to charge you a grip for it. Gang, and so see you guys next time.
Next week.
Next week.
Live from People of Video.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're doing takedown on Friday, so no demo.
No, Alec is doing the demo for us.
Alec Ballhead Pumpkin. Pumpkin.
So join Alec on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's already scheduled and ready to go.
Okay. Yes, Rich, we got you. It is way bigger than what we did the last time. Well, our last booth, the 10 by 10 was small because me and Rich are in the booth together. That kills all 10 by 10. So this one is actually pretty amazeballs. And yeah, can't wait. And don't worry, gang. There's no doc stream today because we got work to do.
Yeah.
So,
but questions, we're happy to take questions.
yeah, we take questions.
Awesome. Well, we'll see everyone next time. And thank you again so much, Aubrey. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Enjoy that milkshake.
I know,
We're jealous.
Right? I'm super jelly. That's right. I'm going to send you a picture of the cupcakes that we found.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, God. Do not cough
Okay.
yourself crazy while we're at the end. Thank you, guys. You guys rock. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. We don't have an outro.
Yeah, we don't have an outro scene today.
We're just
Sorry.
gonna fade into oblivion.
Luis is going to have to make this one up.
All good. Go back to the intro.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, I know what I can do. This is how we're going to end it right here. That's right, the crew that brought you Leaped in a live stream is back with something brand new for 22, and you won't want to miss it. Leap into podcasting. We're taking a leap into podcasting this year, September 29th and 30th. It's our third year of Leaped in a Live, and we're bringing all that same energy this year for this 2-day virtual event. Join us September 29th and 30th. Two days. Oh, what the heck did I do?
What?
Don't know how that happened. Bye.
Yeah, no.